Hello, my friends. Hello, hello, hello. I'm Rachel Archelaus momentarily, but I'm bringing to you Intimate Alien today. She is so looking forward to this. We are going to be talking about loving yourself, and loving yourself to love yourself because you do love yourself, but also loving yourself as the shortcut to having what you want, having the life you want, having the things you want, having the money you want, having all the things you want. There's really only one shortcut to that, and that's loving yourself more. So today's going to be fun. Intimate Alien is so ready. If you have questions, put them in the chat. She loves interacting with you. Although it's so funny because on Intimate Alien live streams, usually the chat is pretty quiet when she starts talking. So we get that too. She does not have a lack of things to say. So thanks for coming. Thanks for watching. And I'm excited. Carrie, what about you?
Yeah, I'm excited too. Hey, Guillaume and Katerina, and for saying hello. We appreciate you guys for being here. And yes, you guys know Intimate Alien, she can get chatty, but if you don't have questions, then I just dive right in with my own. So, um, yeah, no worries there. But I'm super excited to see you guys. I actually just got off a call with Intimate Alien not too long ago. This kind of mind blowing isn't the right word, but it helped me take things to a new level. So I'm super hopeful that the same thing will happen for all of us again. No pressure.
It's funny because, we have a coaching group, Carrie and I, which go sign up if you'd like to. It's like the gym for your vibration. It's excellent. Totally great use of your time. So we do the Intimate Alien call before this live stream with Intimate Alien. Um, And even I was blown away because there were things in there that I learned about like being sick and what the benefit is and all kinds of different things. And so I even like get to like sit back and hear new things. It's so much fun. So I wonder what will happen today.
Well, we'll find out.
All right. Well, let me get your friend.
All right. I'm gonna get a
She's
sip of water.
excited. I'm gonna have a sip of iced tea before I give her over. She drinks her water. Okay. We are here. We are so happy to be here today. Hello again, Carrie. Hi, everyone who is watching and with us. We are so excited to be with you. So, yes, Rachel introduced my intention very well. Very well. And you may know that when I see you, all I see is your aligned, loving self. So I'm already seeing your love. I'm already seeing it. And it is a fun experiment for you to be on this planet and to not see it. It's a wonderful option that you have. However, if you want things to go more smoothly for you, if you feel like you are ready to experience more ease now, that you have experienced enough sort of blindness on your planet, right? Of sort of bumbling around, experimenting, trying to figure things out. That is all wonderful. That's all wonderful. It's part of why you're here. But if you want more ease now, that is available to you. And really, loving yourself will get you there. So we are happy to answer your questions about anything, of course, and especially about how you can love yourself more. We feel we are getting better at these, aren't we? Yes.
I was gonna say, I feel like yes, you are. Yes, we are, and I think that's a really good place to start. I think I've told you this before, Intimate Alien, but I have not always been comfortable with the idea of self-love or love yourself more. Um, I think because what people described as self-love didn't sound very appealing to me.
Oh, like
um,
what? Like what?
so like simple as like I'm thinking like hashtag self-care or hashtag self-love or whatever, and it would be like going to get a pedicure. And while there's nothing wrong with getting a pedicure, like maybe for me, that seemed like a big ordeal and not something that I really wanted to do. And so for me, it's taken a while to recognize what that um, looks like for me. What is self-love an action? Is self-love a feeling? Is it like, what is that? So maybe that's a good place to start.
That's wonderful. Oh, that's an interesting thing about how other people define it, right? And trying to figure out what it means to you. Yes, we hadn't considered that, but it's true. You are all looking outside of you for answers. And everyone has a different opinion and a different agenda, right? Maybe some people are trying to sell you a pedicure, right? And so they say, oh, love yourself and have a pedicure. Rachel feels the same way about them, by the way. She has not done that and has no desire to. But for someone else, maybe that is an expression, right? So the truth is that you are love. Everything is love. Everything is love. And your truth is love. When you feel total resonance, total truth within you, that's love. When you allow yourself to flow love toward a pet, toward a person, toward yourself, that's love. That's love. You have many experiences with love. Maybe in a meditation, you have felt love. So you are all familiar with the feeling, even if it's been a while, but you've been there and you can remember it. Body, show me the vibration of love. Let's all do that. You can close your eyes and try just for a moment to relax. Let out a sigh. Yes, and just try to give your weight to the chair that you are sitting in, or the sofa, or the ground, or the car seat if you are in the car. And ask your body, show me the vibration of love. And just allow it to come. You can goose it up. I love feeling love. And then wait for the feeling. I am love. And wait for the feeling. I love feeling love. And wait for the feeling. My higher self loves me. And wait for the feeling. And just keep going, keep going, keep going. There is so much love. There is only love. If you are seeing a lack of love, that is a choice. It's a choice. But your true alignment is love. Your true truth is love. It's just that you have free will. You have the will to see a lack of love if you wish. But it is your perception. It is not your truth. Because your truth feels good, and seeing a lack of love does not feel good. Therefore, it is not your truth.
So I feel like I'm playing devil's advocate a little bit here, but also based on a conversation that we recently had about yes and I think many of us have been in places where we know intellectually what love feels like, but despite many of our best efforts, we're unable to access it in the moment. And that got us talking a little bit about illness and when you're sick, but um can you give that advice on, okay, if I had an experience right now when I was leaning into that meditation which this often happens when I'm meditating on a live stream. But where I could experience a little bit of the feeling of love, but I experienced a lot of other feelings too, which were like anxiety and awareness that people are watching and stuff like that. So I guess what I'm getting at is when you, I know there have been times where I have been like, body, show me the feeling of love. And instead, I'm like bombarded with thoughts of not love or why can't I find it or where is it? So, what do we do in those situations?
Yes, because you are so accustomed to not feeling love, it might be more difficult to feel it when you want to. Because it's interesting because your real self, your whole self, your multidimensional self is love. You are love. But you practice yourselves into seeing it and only accessing it in very specific instances, usually for other people or things, right? You let yourself feel it for your children, you let yourself feel it for your spouse, or you at least you did when you got together. You let yourself feel it for your pets, right? Maybe for other people that you care about, you're excited for them, you love them. But we're not used to feeling it internally just because.
Yeah.
So when you look for it just because it's supposed to be there, where did it go? So what you're seeing instead is what you've practiced. I've practiced anxiety. I've practiced self-consciousness. I've practiced these other things. And what love can tell you is that that's okay. I'm still here. Love is still here, even though you practice other things. So it's good to know that if you keep asking for it, you will start to feel it, but you might need to give it some time because you aren't used to it. And it didn't go anywhere.
What I'm reminded of is, there's a lot of talk in the spiritual world about we come in knowing and then we forget. But when Intimate Alien, when you show up in our calls the same way that like a small child shows up at like their grandparents' house or something like,
Yes.
yeah, I'm here. And I just think that's this beautiful example of like, remember, like that child knows they're walking into a space of unconditional love. They also know they are unconditional love, or they haven't yet learned to be anything different than. Yeah, and so I think I know the answer, but I'm going to ask the question anyways, which is like, why do we do that? Why do we talk ourselves out of experiencing ourselves that way?
It's because you are observers, right? If your parents and teachers and siblings and ministers and all the other people that you look at in your world when you are young, if they were all doing the same thing, of course you would continue, right? Of course. But you come here very open, which is what allows you to be so gregarious as children. But that openness also makes you very quick learners. And sometimes your care for your parents, your respect for the authority in your life, who's mostly shown you that they can be trustworthy, they want so much for you to survive. And they think it is such a hard world, right? And so they're just trying to help you to not be too weird. And so you conform, maybe not completely, but to what you're saying, right? It's not nefarious, it's just a little bit of a misunderstanding of the world.
So, if we're good learners and we observe, what's the fastest path back? Or is
Well,
it even, this is a secondary question, because immediately what came up for me is it even safe to go all the way back? Is it even safe to go back to my childlike knowing? Like, that actually doesn't feel like, it feels like intellectually all our conversations, but it's like, yeah, do that. But as I said it out loud, it didn't feel great. So talk me through that.
of course. Well, here's the thing, right? You're really asking, can you be the high vibrational, happy, excited, fully unlimited version of yourself in this world and survive, right? Were your parents right after all, is what you really want to know. And the great thing about this is that you are the one who creates the world, right? You are the one who creates the world. And so the clearer your vibration gets, the happier you get, the more loving you are to yourself, the happier the world is to see you, and the more loving the world is to you, and the more generous the universe becomes. So it's more safe to be your high vibrational childlike self than it is to be worrying about safety.
I'm wondering how that all this is landing with those of you who are watching. Because how it is landing for me is there is a layer of an acceptance of like, yes. And there's also a layer of protest that's like, actually, I've got some examples of when I did some things that were very loving for myself, and the universe and the other people in my life did not. They did not line up to like give me high fives, but my life seemed to get a lot harder in the short term. So,
Well,
this
let's
is
talk about that, because in the short term, perhaps, but not in the long term, right? Loving yourself always pays off. But if your momentum is mostly of doubt and repression and putting others first, you've got to play that out before it smooths itself, right? So you might have an overlap that you've got to work through until you find that smoother sailing, because you aren't dealing with a clear vibration all at once, right? There is a little bit of lag time on your planet of manifestation, more so in the past than now. But even now, maybe it's just a week instead of 3 months, but it's there. And so this is why it's really a commitment to yourself that matters, because you aren't aware of every vibration that you're carrying around. That's why when you make a big jump up, you become more intolerant of things and you see things you don't want to see because you were carrying them the whole time. They were locked in your closet, and you have to acknowledge them sometimes on the way out. Not all the time, but sometimes you see the things you've been hiding back there, and it's not a fun process, right? But the good news is once you see them, they're out of there. They're not in the closet anymore. They're out there. You can continue on your journey and they will not come back again as long as you don't go back down and visit them, which you can do. So loving yourself is a commitment and a process to being your truth. If you're not doing it for me, You're not doing it because I say it's a good move. You're doing it because it's you. It's you aligning with you. It's you saying, I'm allowed to be myself on this planet. I'm allowed to be myself with my family. I accept myself unconditionally, and I'm going to give others a chance to do the same. They don't need to. If they don't want to match your vibration, they don't have to. But that doesn't mean you need to then go back down to meet them. It's definitely something to learn. It's a skill to hold your vibration where you want it to be.
I'm thinking about that in my own experience recently and how loving myself enough to not engage in conversations that don't feel good and where that has um, changed dynamics in relationships in my life. It not necessarily like people haven't gone away, right? But yes, dynamics have changed because I stay silent. I think I used to like I don't I don't think I argued. I would just like offer the other opinion. And what I realized was, ugh, they're not with me here. And um it's just taking me to where they are. So when you talked about family, like that actually brought some stuff up for me, like, oh yeah. But that has been happening where I just have less to say.
Yes.
And it feels better.
Yes. Yes.
Can we talk about selfishness?
Mm-hmm.
So Abraham talks about it. I've heard you talk about it. This idea like it's selfishness is good. It is
Putting
required.
yourself first is good.
Well, could you tell me the difference then? What's the difference between putting myself first and being
Well,
selfish?
that's what we wanted to define selfish as. Yes, putting yourself first. Would you say it is otherwise?
No, I don't think I would.
Okay.
Um, I think that like as a society where we struggle is well, there's nothing wrong with putting yourself first as long as, right, there's like this
Right. Yes.
condition that you're not making things harder for other people. That or I know like this is like a value that I have that I do consider the needs of others, that I do consider the feelings of others. So when I think of selfish, I think of someone who's not doing that, who's like has blatant disregard for other people, all other people around them. And I tend to judge those people. Um, and so part of that is recognizing, oh, am I must like in order to put myself first, must I disregard everyone else? So what's the difference?
Yes. Why would you consider others when making a decision for yourself? And here's more. Okay. We we think this is such a fascinating question because where I come from, every being is aware of their connection to source. Every single one of us knows that we are fully responsible for our life and creations and needs and desires, right? And we know that if we want something from or with another person, right, that will happen if there's a matching intention in another person, which there always is. So we do have interconnection like you, but we know that that will work itself out perfectly. And everyone is responsible for their own emotional needs. We don't really have emotion, we just have positivity. But do you know what I mean? So there's no need to consider anyone else. There would be absolutely no thought about what anyone else is doing, because we do naturally come together when we want to intermingle or have some kind of experience, right? And we're always on the same, like attracts like. The universe works itself out. The law of attraction works for everyone. Everyone attracts what they are vibrating. Everything is perfection. There is no chaos. So why would it be my job to be the universe for other people? It's not. Everything is attraction. You cannot be God. Why are you trying to play God? But that being said, we understand the idea of wanting to care, the idea of wanting to make others' experiences better, and that is naturally accomplished through your selfishness, through your connection to yourself, through your going forward with your preferences in right timing, with you being in alignment means you feel good, you're making the best decision for you. That is also part of universal law. That is also going to fulfill something for another person, because like attracts like. You get what you want, which means they get what they want. And if it's this, then it's this, right? It naturally works itself out. And when you are happier, you have more energy for others. So if there is something you can provide for them, that will naturally happen. And so we can see that it requires trust to know that that's a natural part of being in alignment. We also see that some of you have developed a satisfaction almost of being a worker for other people, but you're suffering in doing so. There's a little bit of satisfaction there, but it is nothing in comparison to being in alignment and offering your overflow. In alignment, offering your overflow, you are part of so many more people, their lives, their experiences, their joy. You are just, it's happening. You're part of the grid. You are working in so many multidimensional ways. When you take yourself out of that, out of alignment, out of your preferences, out of your enjoyment, and you're just doing little things for other people because you basically are saying that they cannot do them for themselves, you're just not helping. You think you are helping, but you're not really helping. But we understand, we see it, but it's not where you really thrive.
I feel that. I understand that. Like, there's still a part of me that wants to argue about, well, what about tiny babies? Like, what? But like, I get you.
Right, well, let's discuss, because there is something on your world called postpartum depression, right? That's very real, and a lot of those people are not feeling able to reach alignment. They're not feeling the desire to care in the way that they would hope for their tiny baby, right? And these are the things that happen on your planet, right? There are periods of time where you are experiencing very difficult things and you're just not able to get to where you want to go. And yet, that woman, that mother, she is not best served then trying to care for the other people in her life. She's best served trying to care for herself, to have support, to attract support to care for her baby, because she cannot do it alone, right? So it's really always the same answer: is you serve others better when you serve yourself first. And yes, resources are often required, but they will come to you if you care for yourself enough. That's the only way they can get to you.
That last part was what I needed. Thank you.
Yes.
So Guillaume has to admit that he has a great difficulty with self-love. And I was thinking about that while you were talking, just like, yeah, it's interesting that so many of us walk around in search of love. And then this idea that we are it or that we constantly have access to it is hard. So can you just speak to that?
Sometimes it's best to take emotion out of it. And when you hear the word love, you often think of an emotion, right? But if you're so used to not feeling the emotion of love for yourself, it might be better to call it a vibration. I am interested in experiencing more of the vibration of love. I'm interested. I'm interested in love. I'm interested in the vibration of love. I'm interested. There's very little resistance in interest, very little judgment, very little pushing against. So start there. I'm interested in experiencing the vibration of love. Oh, that opens the door, doesn't it? So write that down, put it everywhere. I'm interested in the vibration of love. I'm interested. Let that build some momentum. Let it build momentum, and it will find its way to you. It will open that door. It will be the dandelion growing in the little crack of concrete, and it will grow and grow and grow. But don't force it, just be interested.
I love that. That was a trick I learned. My word isn't I'm interested, it's that I'm willing to, but same, right? Same, that idea of like, ooh, yeah, or I would be interested. I'm willing to. That there's so much openness in that as opposed to I am love and, not
Yes,
being
that's really going for it, right? But if
yeah.
you're not there yet, that's okay too. It's still there. It's just how are you going to find it?
So, did we answer the question? We did. I For a while I was in the habit of asking that myself this. When I would get into a situation, any situation, a decision, what to do. I would ask myself, what's the most loving action? What's the most loving response? And usually I would come from a place of love and be aligned. But I recognized that I would still be asking that question from more what is the most loving thing I can do for this situation or for this other person. So I like the just looking at it through the lens of more general, the more general lens of love. What would love do in this situation or something like that? I don't know.
Yes, and if I loved myself, what would I do? If I loved myself, what would I do? What would I do? That's really where the truth lies. That's a powerful question to ask yourself. And you don't need to go with the answer, but it's good to know the answer before you make a decision.
Yeah, this is good stuff. By the way, Guillaume says he will take your powerful advice. He will be asking him, or he will be reminding himself that he's interested in experiencing more of the vibration of love. So you started the conversation saying that love yourself if you want more ease. Love yourself if you want the fastest path to what you want. Um, and that feels conditional. So, what's up with that?
What do you mean?
Well, I've heard Rachel talk about like there's no cause and effect.
There's no cause and effect on the physical plane.
Okay.
Everything is created on the vibrational plane. So yes. So the
So,
vibration determines what happens physically. That's why if you love yourself more, you align more to your truth, to the truth of the universe, which means you are open, which means what more of what you want can physically manifest. You are not resisting it anymore.
got it.
Yes.
I mean, I already knew that. It just there's something kind of like I love the feeling of unconditional.
Yes.
And so there's this like
Because it's true.
yeah.
Right? Yes. That's why it feels good.
So I don't know why I'm feeling slight resistance to this idea. If you love yourself, then everything you want will come to you.
Yes, that's great. So the truth of the universe, the truth of you is that you are unconditional. Your unconditional love, your unconditional allowing, your unconditional ease, your unconditional wealth, you are unlimited, right? Right. And so the truth feels good, which is why when we say these things, it feels good. The idea of unconditional feels good because it's true. And how do you get more of what you want? You align to the truth because there's no resistance in the truth. So you are unconditional, but you pretend that you aren't by introducing resistance into your vibrational being. That's what doesn't feel good because that's not true. The resistance isn't true. The resistance doesn't feel good. And so as you align to unconditional, it does feel good and it opens you up and it allows you to receive what you want.
That one got a yawn out of me. Okay, so Katerina is saying thank you for the powerful advice. And how do I realize when I'm in overflow and when I'm still filling up?
Oh, wonderful. Well, let's imagine. Oh, you didn't. Rachel's watch has something like that. It has a recovery percentage. Rachel has this sports watch. Many people have a similar thing where if you've done a lot of physical activity and you've drained your body, it will tell you how many hours it will take until you are fully recovered and how you are doing on your way. You are 56% recovered. So, right, you are saying there is a process. You are not always in overflow. Sometimes you are on your way, which is great, which means you're feeling good, which means you're getting there. You're filling yourself up with wonderful things, and that you expect to be in that overflow. So, honestly, there are two states, in alignment and not in alignment. And purely, there are just that. In the moment, in alignment, you feel good, you feel clear, you feel happy, you feel ease. There is only well being. You're playful, you are relaxed, you're excited. There's only well being here. You're in the moment, in the moment, in alignment, whatever wants to flow through you can flow through you. The overflow is naturally on. And if you practice the momentum of that, you will just feel better and better and better and better and better and better and better, right? So there's more overflow, more capacity, more. And that's why alignment feels different sometimes. Sometimes bigger, sometimes more subtle, but you're still in the moment. You're still here. You're still enjoying. But when you're trying to get more consistent alignment, that's usually when you feel like you're filling up, right? I am meditating, so I have a few moments, and then I am practicing feeling good, and then I am reminding myself that I am amazing and I am love and that I can do anything. And so when it's very scattered throughout the day and you're distracted by different things, doubts and worries, then you're going to feel more like you're filling up than you are in alignment. But truly, when you are in alignment, you're in alignment and there's overflow. And when you're out of it, you don't feel that great. So just practice being easy with yourself. It's okay that this is a journey. It's okay that I don't feel great all the time. It's okay. This is where I am right now and it's perfect. But I am interested in feeling better more often. I am interested in being in the moment. I am interested in feeling more alive and being more of myself. And I'm interested in that. And if you make it a priority, it will be there. You'll make time for it. You'll adapt your resistance and you'll include you more. And that's really all there is to it. So it's a journey, it's a process to feeling better and better and better and better.
That really answered on several levels for me. So thank you, Katerina. I hope that it hit the same. Okay, so where to? Where do you want to go now?
I want to go to the place that you all want to be in. It's all here for you. It's all here. Everything you want, it's so here. It's here. It's here. It's here. It's here. It's surrounding you. It's playing with you. You're playing with it. It's amassing. It's changing. It's morphing. It's becoming more delightful to you. It is raining upon you. It is offering you opportunities. It is playing. It is playing. It is playing. So find your fun. Find yourself. Find your joy. Find your ease. Find your peace. Find your excitement. It's there. It's there. It's there. It's there for you. You are creative. You've created. It's time to play.
I was laughing at myself for taking notes while you're like, just play. And I'm like, right. Mental list, play more.
Play! Exclamation point. Play. Yes, that will help. There is nothing wrong with using your pen to focus. That is an excellent way to use all of this.
So it sounds like a fairly simple message. The way to whatever it is we believe that we want is self-love.
Being a kid expecting a present. They are not doubting that they are worthy of that present. Give it to me now. Let me tear it apart. I will only play with it for an hour and then it will be done and I feel fine about that. On to the next, right? So eager, so excited, so enthralled with the moment that they forget about it after they are done. Perfect. The way you were meant to be. Perfect. The universe loves you a billion times more than you can comprehend, because that is all there is. And if you can glimpse even a part of that, your daily life will improve so much. Just wrap yourself in love as best you can and let everything else take care of itself. You are working on a vibrational level to create, right? And so if you can boost your feeling, boost your mood, boost your vibrational set point in any way, you will see a difference in your world, because that is how you create, that is how you allow, that is how you attract. It's very fun. It's a fun journey. So let yourself have some fun.
Okay. Well, I wonder if there's any more questions coming from the chat on exactly that, on how to allow more fun. On honestly, it's so funny because as I'm sharing with you guys, I had a call with Intimate Alien earlier that felt very like open, and on this call, I'm feeling my internal like arguer want want to come in. Um, so it's just that's a fun observation that there is definitely in having this conversation with you, there's definitely a part of me that wants to uh that is finding a little fun in arguing for limitations. um I know that doesn't
That's
always.
the woman who makes the most money when she goes on vacation.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
So
We love it though. We love your resistance. It's so beautiful. It's a beautiful tapestry, and you're allowed to have it.
well, so can we talk about that a little bit? It's not exactly on the topic of self-love, but it is
It
on that
is. It
idea
is.
of
We love it,
well,
right?
I don't. I
There's
don't
nothing.
love.
But if we push against, we're only strengthening it, right?
Yes.
So we embrace it. We embrace it.
Well, so that's what I was gonna ask about is this idea that you have to go through something in order. I remember Rachel talking a while ago about like growth doesn't have to be painful. You can grow through joy. Um, but that I have created a lot of circumstances where there's growth comes through a painful lesson or growth comes through.
Well, that's the norm. And do you want to know why it's the norm? It's because you wait until you're so miserable and out of alignment to make a choice that's actually real to you. And that's why it takes. If you would just decide what is best for you in each moment, you would grow through joy naturally. But you wait and wait and wait until the world has beat you down so much that you finally feel okay and saying, okay, this is too much. I can't do it. I'm actually worth more than this. Mm-hmm.
That's what I was getting at. If deciding what's best for you in each moment
It cuts
requires,
that all out. Doesn't let you get anywhere near that.
but it also requires feeling worthy.
Yes. That's why we're saying all of this today. Because you don't naturally know that as adults. Usually you can, of course, you can, many do, but it's something we see that you're hesitant about, a lot of you.
Yeah.
So let's do it. Let's do it. We love ourselves in our resistance. We love ourselves in our fighting. We love ourselves and in all of our ways that we keep ourselves from feeling good. We love that part of us. It's natural. We're just doing what we saw happening. We were just trying to fit in. We were just trying to get along. We just wanted people to love us. And that's okay. But now we can love ourselves. We're adults now. We can love ourselves. It's okay to love ourselves. It's okay to love our resistance. It's okay to love our circumstances. It's okay to love all the things that we created because we didn't feel good about ourselves. It's okay to love all of the things that have come to make us right now, right here, right in this moment, because now we can choose alignment. Now we can choose to do what's right for us. Now we can choose our truth, our preferences, our likes. And now we can start seeing the manifestation of that. We can allow that now because we're adults and we know that it's okay to feel good now. It's okay to make the best choice for you, to cut out that hard learning, to grow through joy and love and ease, because that's all there is. That's all there really is. If you're seeing otherwise, you're choosing it. You don't need to choose it.
That was a good one.
Good.
Thank you.
Yes.
Well, intimate alien, I'm at a loss for words, which almost never happens.
Well, maybe we will let Rachel wrap up and yes, we had so much fun with all of you today. Thank you so much for having us here and watching and communicating. We love seeing you. So we will give over to Rachel now. And thank you. Bye.
Bye, intimate alien.
Okay. That was great.
So, what was that like for you this time, sitting in the background, hearing that conversation? Epiphanies, ahas, anything?
Just a reinforcement, really. Like, I've been wanting to focus more on fun lately. Fun has been a really big word for me in the past few weeks, but I haven't necessarily changed much yet, like action wise. But Intimate Alien has been wanting to make her own clothes, and like obviously with me because I know how to make clothes, and that would be so fun. So, and we've been thinking about that even last night of like, let's like go to the fabric store now, and I just watched RuPaul's Architectural Digest video today. You guys, RuPaul is Intimate Alien embodied. Like, not really, but he's definitely a Pleiadian, at least partially. And he is so loving, and he's just telling everyone, like, you just got to focus on the joy in your life, even when it's hard. And like, he loves his spark. So good. So good. So I've just been watching like the people who play as their livelihood and who have everything they want and more. And like, so hearing this today is just a great reinforcement of that.
Good. I see a question from Dale.
Yes.
Is there not also pleasure in collaboration, going back to selfishness? And I
Oh
feel
yeah.
like Intimate Alien kind of was answering that about like when you are aligned, your collaborators find you.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah. For me, as Rachel, a collaboration is always two people creating something bigger than themselves, right? But it's not necessarily about diminishing anything. It's about taking your whole self to the project and giving whatever you're inspired to give. So there's nothing out of alignment about that or out of selfish. It's completely selfish. At least for me, collaboration is one of my favorite things. And it's the most selfish thing that I could possibly do because I want to access that other person's creativity for my own benefit because it feels so good, you know? So I don't know how you look at collaboration, maybe more of as I don't even have access to the word because I don't even do it. What is the word?
Like oh, I can't find it either.
I
It's on
know
the
what is it's when you
compromise.
yes. I don't feel compromise and collaboration at all. I feel it's the opposite where you're putting it's the opposite of compromise for me. So
Well, as someone who you collaborate with, I will say that I never feel like you are being selfish, but I sometimes feel like I am being selfish, right? Like And
Nice.
one of the things that we talked about, we didn't actually talk about this with Intimate Alien. I'm bummed I didn't think of the question, but it just around self-love and boundaries. Um,
Oh.
right? People tend to, when you assert your own boundaries, which you do when you are when you love yourself, right? You know your preferences, what you want and you don't want, and what you want to do and you don't want to do. And so someone who's in being in collaboration with you is amazing because um there's not an expectation for me to do anything I don't want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really cool. I think for a lot of people who say, let's collaborate, it means I will get to do everything that I want to do, and you will do all the things that I don't want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And if, like, for you and I, it tends to work out, right? Because we're living in alignment and we find each other. And sometimes there's stuff that I don't want to do and you don't want to do, and somebody else wants to do it.
Mm-hmm.
um, but yeah, I think that that's the tricky part in enforced collaborations, maybe. Like, I'm thinking of a school project or something that's happening on a work team where, like, there's an assumption that someone has to take the crappy jobs. And
Everything is still attraction, though. So even at work and even in school, everything is still attraction. So if you've primed yourself enough, you're going to have great collaborations. I mean, that's where a lot of my collaborations started. Is I had this awesome job, almost 20 years ago, and I met some of my lifelong collaborators who do the things I don't want to do or can't do or don't want to learn, and we create amazing things. Um, so you're always responsible for yourself, which also means that you're not responsible for the reactions of others when you have boundaries. So that's a hard one. I have lots of practice with that, um, because I don't do anything I don't want to do. And I do try to live my life in alignment, which means I make decisions that are best for me very often. But when I'm in my truth, it's the best decision for everybody, or at least it's vibrationally accurate. You cannot be the path of least resistance for other people. You cannot play God and have it work out. You cannot play the universe. You cannot pretend to be the law of attraction for other people and have it work out. So, yeah, don't take, you stay in your own lane.
I like that. I like that as yeah, I started the conversation with Intimate Alien saying, like, I had never been very comfortable with self-love. You know what I'm super comfortable with? Self-respect,
Yeah.
right? And I know this is a book I read a long time ago that said, if you ask a man if he loves you or he respects you, he won't understand the question. Like, do you love me more? Do you respect me more? They're like, I don't know. It's the same. So I'm feeling into that. Like, loving myself is respecting myself, and respecting myself is
Mhm.
holding my boundaries,
Yeah.
feeling good about my boundaries,
And the
knowing
thing is, like, it's not like boundaries. You don't have to decide your boundaries. Your boundaries naturally come from your alignment. So if you're thinking about your boundaries, if you're thinking, you're probably in your head and you're not in alignment and you're in the moment receiving from your higher self, you know? So always feel better. Always feel better. If you're toiling over boundaries, if you're toiling over something you're not in alignment, so relax, change the subject, find a better feeling place, and then it'll be clear.
amen.
Yeah.
All right,
Cool. Well, I guess we're there.
we're
If
there.
you want to join us and get more Intimate Alien, more Carrie, and more me, go to intuitiveart.com/membership. Join the gym for your vibration. Get this self-care, self-love time in, and your life will feel a lot easier. So we love you. We're here for you. We love to support you on our calls and our membership. And we join, we join you. Yeah, we do. We invite you to join us too. All right. All right. We'll see you next week.
Yeah, thanks, Rachel. Thanks,
everybody.
everybody.
Bye.
Bye, guys.